just speak. Here, go ahead.
Okay.
Please just speak now. It's on. Tell people.
Is the sound on?
Exactly right. We are making a lot of money off of it and putting in a lot of value in the park. Could be worse. But yes, we have this similar situation. Be careful, but we have to stay. It's going to be clear. I'm coming out. You can always do that. There you go.
So, I had this. Yeah.
So, like I said the other day, as soon as this thing is over, you need to make a beeline. You need to try to take it. I will. I'll do that. It should be. We'll be done here by 2:30.
Do we need more chairs brought in, or okay? Okay. There's some space along here as well.
Right. Track. Did you see anything about that?
There's some space over on the other side too, if people want to spread out.
I just need to grab an extra battery.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and you don't need to take pictures of the first 2 minutes anyways. I'll give you one. Oh, yeah.
I'm just running right after.
Oh, okay, yeah, go for it.
Good. I mean,
Okay, so I'm going to just say a few words, okay? And then we're going to do greenhouse right there, okay? Then sawmillers, okay?
All right. Okay, great. Sit here and look adoringly.
I'm just waiting for a photographer. He just went to get a battery.
Start rolling.
I don't know. I think he knows what I think he's like, he's ready. Yeah. Everything I asked him, is it okay? He's like, yeah, it's fine. Oh, he can probably hear me.
See me out there.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Welcome. Okay. So, is it loud enough? No.
Just come to the office and smile. Like, I got you, man.
No. Oh. That's for the wireless. Oh, is there?
Oh.
I'm not sure.
No.
I don't think
It's okay. I can just speak louder, right?
No trap. It may not be.
I don't see any lights.
I think that should be on there.
Okay. Is it
Test 1, 2. Nope.
magic door? Let's go.
That's no good.
They'll hear me just fine.
I hear you perfect.
Okay. We'll just get rid of
We're
it.
going to talk loudly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully.
You talk
Okay.
loud.
Yes.
Yes.
You got suspended 4 and fly back to the
On Monday night, so I got a meeting on Monday, so I tied it together. Incidentally, also have my webinar, so like
It's life for the next 2 days.
yeah, exactly. Hopefully, but
In your direction. Another half an hour.
I know. It's that point, and then there's trying to figure out what time off. I'm gonna go by quick. I'll be working probably sometime back in the hotel room, keeping up with the live TV piles up.
All right, ready? Welcome everybody to the ILCA 2019 Awards Ceremony. Thank you for joining us to celebrate the very best in labor media and the labor communicators whose work rose to the top of our profession this year. We are so honored to showcase all the talent and energy that went into these communications projects that were shared in the contest. Thank you to everyone who entered, all of those who served as a judge, the organizations who support ILCA, and of course all of the winners. Thank you also to the organizations who sponsored this program by purchasing ad space in the Journal, LIUNA, SAG-AFTRA, the People's World, RWDSU, the Labor Tribune, the Machinists Union, SSEU Local 371, the Painters Union, the Longshoremen, all with full-page ads. Thank you so much to all of you who were supportive of the Journal. Thank you also to the Machinists Union for live streaming our plenaries and award ceremony as well, and assisting and promoting the ILCA by featuring us on your live web stream program that airs every Wednesday, Activate Live. Thank you so much. So the 2019 Labor Media Contest once again had a record number of entries. We exceeded even our entries for the 2018 year. It was very impressive. The quality of the entries really demonstrated the extraordinary talent of communicators across the United States and Canada. Just a note, we do expect to open the 2020 contest next April. We are honored to begin this ceremony with a recorded video greeting from former New York Times labor reporter Stephen Greenhouse. He has covered our day-to-day battles in his new book, Beat Down, Worked Up, The Past, Present, and Future of American Labor. He's on his book tour now, or he would be here with us in person. So let me share those video greetings.
I was honored to be invited to speak to the International Labor Communications Association. I'm truly sorry that I'm unable to join you for your convention. I have great respect for the journalists who work in the labor media and help keep the nation's working people informed. After what happened in the 2016 election in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and elsewhere, I think it's supremely important for labor communicators, indeed for all journalists, to work to keep America's working men and women as well informed as possible about what's happening in our nation's politics, our nation's economy, and our nation's workplaces. I've long admired the work that many journalists in the labor press do. I know it's not always easy work. I know there are constraints. I recognize that you often don't get the glory and appreciation you deserve. Over the years, I've found many articles in the labor press smart and insightful. Over the years, I've learned a ton from the labor media. I congratulate Lucia Wang for winning a Labor Media Award for her story about the undue pressures placed on advice nurses working for Kaiser Permanente. Lucia's article is just one example of the excellent work that the labor press often does. It turns out that many of the themes of my new book are the same as the themes of the ILCA's new narrative. In my book, Beaten Down, Worked Up, The Past, Present, and Future of American Labor, I take pains to describe what unions have accomplished and how they have helped lift tens of millions of American workers and built a fairer, more democratic nation. A major reason I wrote my book is that I feel that far too many Americans especially young Americans, know far too little about labor unions and what they have accomplished. Many young Americans seem to think the 40-hour work week was handed down by God. No, I explain, the 40-hour work week was won through decades of struggle by workers and their unions. That was also how we won safer factories, mines, and construction sites, and how we won paid vacations and health coverage and retirement plans at work. I devote a chapter to the famous uprising of the 20,000 of 1909, in which thousands of immigrant female garment workers in New York City went on strike for 2 months in the dead of winter. They were demanding not a 40-hour work week, but a 52-hour work week down from the 56-hour week. They were also demanding an end to paying for the needle and thread they used in their sweatshops. In my book, I have chapter after chapter about the huge importance of collective action, of workers standing together, whether in the Flint sit-down strike, a breakthrough in unionizing colossal General Motors, or in the Memphis sanitation workers strike, or the Red for Ed teacher strikes in West Virginia, Oklahoma, Arizona, Los Angeles, or Chicago, or the amazing gains won by the Culinary Workers Union in Las Vegas, helping lift thousands and thousands of hotel housekeepers and dishwashers into the middle class, and to achieve the American dream for those workers. Eager to make my book readable and hopefully compelling, I repeatedly use the words and faces of individual workers to tell their own stories, and in that way to tell labor's larger story. For instance, about how Clara Lemlich, an immigrant from Ukraine, led the uprising of the 20,000, or how Leah Lipska, a corrections department worker in Madison, Wisconsin, fought back after her family's life was thrown into disarray by Scott Walker's assault on public sector unions and on the livelihoods of government employees in Wisconsin. Again, I'm very sorry that I was unable to join you at your convention yesterday, Thursday. I had to fly back from a book event in Las Vegas. As for today, Friday, many months ago I agreed to participate in a panel discussion that City University's Center on Labor and Urban Studies was holding this morning in New York. I'm sorry I'm not with you today to celebrate your important work in communicating about workers. I look forward to years of continued smart, probing, intelligent work from all of the labor media at a time when we have the most dishonest president in American history, at a time when there are major media organizations like Fox News that deliberately distort and misinform instead of informing and illuminating. There has been no more important time for the labor media. There can be no more important role for the labor media than to communicate the truth about workers and unions and what's happening in the economy as loudly and widely and clearly and accurately as possible. Best of luck on all your deadlines and all your stories. And all of you, please keep up all your good work and good works.
Get up yourself.
Well, those are very nice words from Stephen Greenhouse. So we will start with the awards ceremony with our Saul Miller Awards. And these writing awards are named after the late Saul Miller, a former director of the AFL-CIO Department of Information and also a founder of the ILCA. These awards highlight writing related to key activities of unions, organizing, collective bargaining, and political action. So we have first through honorable mention awards for each of those categories. And in addition, as our first place Saul Miller awardees come up, we have some of the awardees able to give us a few remarks. So I will start with our first place Saul Miller Award for organizing, United Mine Workers. Hi, Erin. I know, were you going to say a few words on behalf?
Sure, something
Okay.
really quick.
All right, wonderful.
Unfortunately, our editor and the writer of this piece wasn't able to attend, but we do work very hard on our bi-monthly journal, and we just wanted to thank the ILCA, and all of the judges. So thank you so much.
Oh, yes. Picture? I'll take a picture.
Okay.
Thanks, Erin. Okay.
Further out, further out.
Okay. Okay. Super. Next, we have first place winner in the collective bargaining category, the machinists. Hello, Richard and Valana. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wait a second, we're grabbing your award.
Sorry, one second. Sorry.
Okay.
Step out.
Okay, thank you.
Further
Get out of the
out.
picture.
There you
Get
go.
out of it.
No, get into it.
Follow him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Did one or both of you want to say a few words, or?
In doing this article, Valana and I kind of worked as a tag team. Valana and I both do video production, and I do some writing. I don't know if you do much text writing, but Valana conducted a lot of the interviews that I was fortunate enough to be able to take those interviews and put them into the pages. And this, to me, this is a great story because it was a success. It was a story about how organized workers were going to lose their jobs because of privatization. And the words of the workers is what made it fall together easily. For me, it made it together fall very easily. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have the Saul Miller First Place Writing for Political Action, the National Association of Letter Carriers. Bill and Rick. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Here's our- okay. Okay. Are you both speaking, or go? Okay.
Thanks.
Phil down.
All right, is this working now? Okay, why is this here then? Well, it is whispering. All right. Oh, it's working for you, okay. Anyway, I'm Phil Dine, and this is Rick Hodges. Rick actually did most of the work on the several awards we won, so appreciate all of Rick's work. And I also, like Steve said, I've long admired the work of ILCA. I feel like for decades I've sort of been working in my little way in their spirit and towards their goals. A long time ago, I spent a couple of years in grad school doing research in Europe on labor unions and immigrant workers. And I thought I'd go into academia. I came back, and naturally I went into newspapers because they don't pay anything. So I spent 25 years covering labor around the country. Then 10 years ago, seeing how newspapers were going, I decided to do something different. So I wrote a book on the labor movement, its continuing importance, but its decline, and how it could revitalize itself by, in part, by better getting out its message and communicating to the public why labor still matters. And that led me to a lot of media things. I was probably 50, 60 times on Fox. Steve mentioned Fox. I became their token media sympathizer, and they treated me like I was from Mars because I'd get on and speak positively about labor. My favorite moment on Fox, I think, was when one well-known host, whom I won't name, was complaining to me for some reason on air about how labor guys, all these blue-collar workers, got such good health care plans, Cadillac plans, and he, despite his position, couldn't get that handed to him. He had to talk to us, he had to do it individually, and I'd had enough, so finally I said, Stuart, that was his name, I said, Stuart, I think you're right. Maybe you need a union. It was the first time, only time I'd ever seen him speechless, but over the phone set, over the set, I could hear the guys in New York, production guys, laughing like crazy because they're all in unions. And also, about 10 years ago, I was invited down to New Orleans to speak to this group. So this is my second time at an ILCA luncheon. About 10 years ago, I became Director of Communications and Media Relations at the National Association of Letter Carriers. So now I deal with the media from the other side. And doing that, I know what a tough row you guys have to, everybody who covers labor has to travel to do their job. Anyway, we really appreciate this, and thank you very much.
What he said. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate this.
Thank you, Rick. Nice work.
Thank you guys very much.
We get a picture? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Next up, we have first place Saul Miller for political action, the United University Professions. What's that? Oh, okay, good. Okay. Okay. Oh, over here, sorry. Okay. Congratulations.
Forward, Lisa.
Okay, okay. Did you want to say a few words, Daryl? Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Lisa. My late husband, Jim McGrath, grew up in a union household. His father was a newspaper printer, and Jim, in his career in journalism, was a very activist member of the newspaper guild. I won't tell you some of the tactics he used during negotiations, but he had a mantra, which was, management is always wrong. However, I'm going to tell you, my two managers who are here, Michael Lisi and Karen Madison, are always right.
Thank you.
They helped me get this job at a time in my life when I really, really needed a stable, good-paying job, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful to our members and my union for helping me be able to do stories like this. I'm a writer who gets paid to write. How good is that, right? So I'm very grateful and also very impressed with the work I see other people doing. I've been coming to this conference. I've had the privilege of being here now for several years in a row, and I'm amazed at the stories so many of my colleagues here are getting that are not being covered by my former colleagues in the mainstream media because budget cuts, 3 people doing 5 jobs. You're all doing really, really good work, so it's very gratifying to be recognized. Thank you for that. And I'll just say one thing about this story, which I remember very well. We were coming down to Washington, D.C. for the Janus arguments in the very early spring, and we thought, gee, it's upstate New York, we're going south. Actually, it was freezing in Washington that morning, and I had to go find something warm to put on, and there were no stores in the area of the Supreme Court building, so I came out of a souvenir shop wearing a super double triple X large sweatshirt with U.S. Capitol emblazoned in front of it, and then found myself up on the steps when Mr. Janus came out after the arguments, and found myself standing next to the impeccably attired Nina Totenberg, who took one look at me like, where did you come from? But we got the story, and that's what counts. We lost that decision, but our union came out of that on the winning side, I think, and I hope all of yours did too, if you were public sector unions. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to the second place Saul Miller Award for Political Action, Machinists, for People versus Corporations. Good job, Jonathan. All right, next up, second place, Collective Bargaining, the People's World. You want the picture, John?
Oh, yeah.
You have enough pictures of me?
Actually, I have none with you, so this is
Okay,
the first
okay,
one.
okay. Okay, second place, organizing UFCW Local 400. Okay, they're not here. Okay, okay. I think we had them on our list as coming by. Okay, another United University Professions, second place, new contract, a successful organizing tool by Mike. Right. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Here you go.
Thanks.
I'll move it over this way.
We're doing pictures?
Yeah, yeah. Congratulations. Great.
Thanks.
Now, third place, organizing, doubling local membership in a few short months. Check. AFGE. Congratulations.
Good to see you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right.
Third place for collective bargaining, strength in numbers, the Airline Pilots Association. Okay, you can do it, John. You can stand in. Congratulations.
Thank you on behalf of Kevin.
Okay. Okay. Third place for political action, voter rights propositions look like winners in battleground state of Michigan. People's World. What? Okay. 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 Third place, collective bargaining. Our union restores job reputation for unfairly fired worker. The CSEA, AFSCME Local 1000. Okay. Sorry. Congratulations. Okay. Honorable mention for collective bargaining. Hanford New Workers win health and safety deal. People's World. Are you going to be standing this time? Okay. Congratulations.
Should we take a picture?
Picture taken.
We'll take it for you.
That's what the live stream's for, right? Okay. We have another honorable mention for Progressive Change Conference Sessions Teach Candidates How to Run Campaigns by Mark Grunberg.
Mark.
Congrats, Mark.
Thanks.
As usual.
Yeah. Okay. And honorable mention for political action, Labor's Maria Elena Durazo on the ballot for California State Senate, People's World. We should just get it all at once. No.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, an honorable mention for organizing at the chapters by United University Professions again. And that concludes the Saul Miller Awards. So now we will move into the full labor media awards presentation. Okay. So first place for general excellence, a single issue publication, AFG Then and Now book. We have yeah, so we have a few AFG, right? Okay. Yeah, yeah. We also have second place for visual communications, best photo, essay, or gallery. Red for Feds Rally, AFG. Thank you. Congratulations. Did you want to stay for a picture? And third place, electronic media. Do you want to stay? Does the team want to come up and we'll do a picture? Okay. Okay. Damon, do you want to arrow through all of their awards?
Sure.
Okay. If there's another one, yeah.
Nope, that was
No,
it.
okay. Okay. Cool. Okay.
Do you have another person? Dan, come on up.
Dan. Hiding. Okay.
You need to leave the podium.
Yeah. Okay. Congratulations. Congratulations, guys. Good work.
Great, thank you.
Okay, first place, visual communications, best design for magazine, Airline Pilots Association. Yes, and yeah, we have a few for you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
First place, electronic media, jump seat etiquette, yes please, Airline Pilots Association. And first place, visual communications for best front page cover magazine. And first place for electronic media, best news video. And another first place, FedEx pilot helps provide the gift of sight, writing, best profile. An honorable mention for writing best analysis, slavery in the 21st century, what you need to know about flying and human trafficking. And honorable mention for electronic media, best use of social media. And best multimedia campaign, second place, ALPA Frontier Pilots contract negotiations. And visual communications, best informational graphic, third place, The Landing, The Power of the Orange Card. Your arms aren't getting tired there, John. Best multimedia campaign, third place, When We Flew Again, Memories from September 14th, 2001. And third place for visual communications, best photo, essay, or gallery, the 8th annual photography issue. Okay, for the picture. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Next up, we have first place for best feature story, the state and local category, Animation Guild Local 839 for Art of Inclusion in their Keyframe magazine. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. And, oh, I didn't announce the second one yet.
That's
Okay.
it. I clicked it.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Efficiency.
And also, okay, we're very efficient. Visual communications, best cartoon, second place. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Super. Okay. Next up, we have 2 awards for the Boston Teachers Union. Honorable mention for best news video, contract highlights video, put together by 617 Media Group, and second place for political action and organizing campaign, best collateral. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have first place for visual communications best front page cover newspaper or newsletter, CSEA AFSCME Local 1000. And we'll read off a few more words for you all. Visual communications best photograph, first place, Chase and Dustin Young. Also, writing best profile honorable mention for Rodriguez dedication highlighted in Women Working Calendar. And an honorable mention for electronic media best promotional video. And visual communications best design single issue publication, second place for their 2019 calendar. And writing best series, second place. We give 100% at Staying Union, Staying Strong. And finally, a third place for electronic media, best use of social media, Stay Union, Stay Strong campaign. Okay.
So he's cueing you to go forward. That-
Thank you.
Now we have CWA Local 1180, first place for visual communications, best design newspaper or newsletter print, and congratulations. Second place visual communications best informational graphic. Also a second place for general excellence print publication. And a third place for best editorial or column. A third place for best news story. Enough is enough. Okay. And a third place for general excellence single issue publication. Congratulations. Okay, great. There we go. Next we have first place for general excellence in, for a blog, the DC Metro Labor Council. And bless you. Also, DC Metro Labor Council also won third place for general excellence electronic publication. That's Chris. Okay. Thanks. Oh, you forgot after Equity Association. No, they just can't. We can read it, or I can read it. Okay, sorry. Okay, excuse me. Second place for visual communications best infographic, Machinists. Yeah, well, and I'll start reading off a few more words for them as well. Okay, second place, electronic media best news video. Second place, visual communications best photograph. Second place, general excellence single issue publication collateral. A second place general excellence for their website, I Am Advantage. And third place general excellence single issue publication. It's not your granddaddy's union anymore. All right. Yes, I do.
How do you want them to do it? Do you want to bring him forward? We're going to
Come up in front of the podium.
yeah, go forward out of the light here, guys. Jonathan, bring your guys forward.
Okay.
Everybody hold on.
Killing it. All right.
Are we good? Are we good?
Yeah,
Not too
so
tall.
stand right back.
So Lisa, do they have the stuff here?
No, but I'll just call them up. Okay.
Just call them up and
Yeah.
do a handshake.
Yeah. I don't know who's here from that. Okay. I wanted to acknowledge Actors Equity Association, first place award for writing best editorial or column in the national international category. It's time for women to lead. Actors Equity,
Is there anyone from Actors Equity here?
did they leave? Oh, okay, okay, okay. And also, if there's anybody here when we get done that I haven't called, please let me know, okay?
So we'll come back to Brendan.
Yes, we'll come back. Okay.
All right, so IBEW.
Okay. All right, first place, Visual Communications Best Cartoon, IBW Local 1245. Also, first place, General Excellence Single Issue Publication.
Awesome.
Honorable mention for Visual Communications Best Front Page Cover Newspaper or Newsletter. And second place, Visual Communications Best Design Newspaper Newsletter. Nope. Okay. And second place, Writing Best News Story. And third place, Electronic Media Best Promotional Video. So first place, Electronic Media Best Promotional Video, National International, the International Brotherhood of Boilermakers. I'll read after other words too.
So I don't have my 10 behind me.
Oh, you're through. Also, first place, General Excellence website. Honorable mention, Visual Communications Best Design Magazine. Honorable mention, Electronic Media Best Issues Advocacy Video. Second place, Visual Communications Best Front Page Cover. Second place, Electronic Media Best Long Form Video. Second place, General Excellence Print Publication. And third place, Political Action or Organizing Campaign Best Collateral. Yes. Okay. All right. First place, Visual Communications Best Infographic, the Painters Union. Okay. Is John around? Oh, yeah, good. Okay. Okay, well, I'll
Very
keep.
dramatic. Come on out.
Also, second place, Writing Best Editorial or Column. And third place, Electronic Media Best News Video. And first place, General Excellence Print Publication.
Glad I could make it.
Here when you need to.
Thanks, you.
Okay,
I'm going to give you a break.
Okay, awesome.
Hello, everyone. I'm Damon Romine. I'm the Secretary of ILCA. I'm going to give Lisa a break for a few minutes. She's been doing a lot of reading, and she's also going to be accepting an award now for, coincidentally, she's going to be accepting an award for LIUNA for first place, Political Action Organizing Campaign, Best Collateral. All right, so we're going to move on to the people's world. They have received a number of awards here, so if you want to just wait a moment, I will read through the People's World Awards as we scroll through on the screen. There's an honorable mention for writing Best Labor History on Frances Perkins by Chauncey Robinson, who is here. We have an honorable mention for writing Best News Story for the Fate of Veterans, Major Issue for Unionists by Mark Grunberg. Mark is here as well. Mark, come on down. We have writing Best News Story honorable mention for the DOJ says transgender discrimination, not a violation of federal law by Michelle Zacharias. Is Michelle here with you today? Okay. We have second place writing Best Analysis for Sweat, an unsentimental collective portrait of a working class in retreat by Eric Gordon. We have second place for writing Best News Story by Chauncey Robinson, We Won't Be Silent Anymore. We have a second place writing for Best Series, China's Labor Movement Keeping Pace with Globalization. And we have third place writing Best Analysis, The Workers' Cup by Chauncey Robinson. Another third place for Chauncey for writing Best News Story for Despite Resistance, Women of Color Aim for Political Power in 2018 and beyond. A third place writing Best Profile for Michelle Zacharias for People's World News, Views, Culture, Contact, Donate, Katie Jordan, a hero to the workers of Chicago. I'm not sure. All right. And that's it. Congratulations, you guys. Take a picture with you guys. Mark needs to move forward.
Up to the front. I'm the shortest of us, so.
Thank you.
All right, we have a couple of awards for RWDSU. Do we have them? Are they in the house? That's you. Hello. Okay. Oh, you can't. Oh, all right. Oh, get one as a prop. Do you want one as a prop? I'm good. All right, well, I'm going to read them off for you. Would you like a photo with Lisa?
Yes.
All right. So Chelsea at RWDSU wins first place for writing Best News Story, Union Fights Back After ICE Raid Targets Ohio Meat Processors. A second place for Electronic Media for Best Issues Advocacy Video for Fresh Mark ICE Raid. And a third place for General Excellence in a Print Publication for RWDSU Record. So congratulations, Chelsea. Lisa, you might need to read this for us because I have a team of people here who.
All right. SAG-AFTRA awarded first place for Visual Communications Best Photograph. First place, Electronic Media Best Use of Social Media. Second place, Electronic Media Best Use of Social Media. Third place, Best Feature Story. Third place, Visual Communications Best Front Page Cover. Third place, Electronic Media Best Use of Social Media. Give me a second. Okay.
Hang on a second. We didn't do a flag for us.
Okay.
Here's the first place. We'll use this as a prop. Always staging. Guys, come forward. Lisa, take a picture.
Okay.
All right, thank you guys.
This got mixed in with this, right? Okay.
Are they next?
I think so.
Okay. All right, we're going to move to the sheet metal workers, Local 17. 5, 6. Are they here? Oh, great. Hi, guys. The third place for Electronic Media Best Promotional Video. Guys, Lisa, you want to? And you need to move forward out of the light for this, for our photographer. Thanks, guys. We have the Teamsters Local 237. Are they in the house? No? All right. We're going to go through those three. UFCW Local 400? No, they're not here. Okay. United Auto Workers? Is it you again? Okay, great. All right, we have the United Auto Workers. We have, two for United Auto Workers. We have an honorable mention for Best Multimedia Campaign and a third place for Political Action Organizing Campaign. Best Flyer. Thank you. Sure. United Mine Workers of America. Great. We have a first place for writing Best Analysis, The Real Story About Miners, Black Lung and the Life and Death Struggles for Benefits. The United Mine Workers also win first place for writing Best Feature Story, Farmington number 9, 50 years later. An honorable mention for electronic media for Best Use of Social Media. General Excellence for Website, third place. That's it. Thank you. Congratulations, guys. 1 second. Did I go past letter carriers? Yes. Do you want to go past it? I don't have the paper for that. I don't have the paper. All right.
And I'll go back.
Yes. So let me. I'm just going to read it off the screen. I didn't have in my papers the National Association of Letter Carriers. If you want to come up for first place, writing Best Labor History Story. And first place for writing Best Series. And writing Best Editorial or Column, honorable mention. Writing Best Labor History Story, third place. Great. Congratulations, guys. I'm sorry I missed earlier. A good picture of Lisa. Move forward, out of the light.
Out of the light, yeah.
Is there any I have one more for, I believe I have one more here for United University Profession. So after this, if you are here and we did not call you because I wasn't aware you were going to be here for lunch, then please let us know and we will recognize you. But right now, I'd like to recognize United University Professions for first place, writing Best Profile. For second place, writing Best Electronic Content. Second place, writing Best Profile. Second place, General Excellence, Electronic Publication. Third place, Visual Communications, Best Design. Third place, General Excellence, Print Publication. Congratulations. You want to get in the picture? Well, I'll take it. Here. Give me this.
We gotta stand forward.
We like your instructions.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Okay.
Lisa, get in the
Okay.
front seat.
Okay. Okay.
Lisa, right here. Okay.
Thanks.
Is there anyone else that's here that we didn't call?
And lastly, although our Max Steinbach Award couldn't be with us, I wanted to acknowledge Lucia Huang for her article that appeared in the January-February 2018 issue of the National Nurses United publication. And in this story, Lucia profiles the use of unlicensed teleservice patients for Kaiser HML call centers and details how Kaiser uses the teleservice employees to rush patients through protocols that limit call times and sidestep effective evaluation. And she really spotlighted problems with the Kaiser call centers kind of bypassing certified nurses. And it's very unfortunate our Steinbach winner couldn't be with us, but I just wanted to acknowledge that piece, and it's online in the NNU magazine, and you can pull that up. We'll also be posting that on social media. And one last call if there was anybody that we didn't call up, but okay. Thank you.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And that concludes.
Thank you all for coming.
Yes, thank you all for coming. And that concludes our award ceremony and convention.